Sorry for that loud noise. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen momentarily. Hold on. Okay. Okay, Dr. Muhammad, you can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Olivia. Good morning, everyone. I hope that everybody is having a nice day. The cold weather is outside, but hopefully we will have a warm and a nice presentation and discussion today. As Olivia mentioned, I am Dr. Rashid Muhammad, and I'm from an organization called JustCause. Our mission at JustCause is to help people with legal issues, and I will talk about many of the types of issues that we help people with, and also talk about some of our partners that can also help. Primarily, JustCause is there to help people and provide attorneys at no cost to solve legal problems. I have the next slide, please, Olivia. So our mission at JustCause is not just to provide legal help, but actually improve the quality of people who do not have the means to afford a lawyer. And so we work with a large group of lawyers. Actually, we have 1,600 volunteers in Monroe County to help people with their serious legal matters. We work collaboratively, or we work with other people, other agencies, to make sure that we are identifying and meeting the legal needs of the people that are in the community. I have the next slide, please, Olivia. So our focus is on civil legal services. And when we say civil legal services, what we mean by that, there's a difference between criminal matters and civil matters. An example between the difference between a criminal matter and a civil matter would be if somebody is dealing with something like a robbery or something that deals along with something very bad like a murder. Those are criminal matters. And there are attorneys that are in that system to help people, specifically the public defender. Our mission is to help people with civil legal services. And when we say civil, I'll give an example, but it could be things like dealing with residents. It could be dealing with immigration. It could be dealing with family matters, tax matters, health care related matters. And so we're there to help address all those things that are not criminal in nature. And then also to make sure that people are getting their basic necessities, that they are safe and stable, and that they are working and have an opportunity to participate in life in a fair and equitable way. May I have the next slide, please? So whom do we serve? Our agency serves people in Monroe County. And the guidelines for who we serve, they change by issue. So it says primarily low-income people, but we have a standard that we use, but that changes depending on the person's circumstances. And even if we cannot help you with a specific issue, we make sure that one of our partner agencies works closely with you to make sure that your needs are satisfied. I have the next slide, please. Here is an example of some of the partners that we have, and they are just examples. We have very, very many partners around Rochester, New York, and Monroe County that serve the needs of people. But on the legal side, we work very closely with the Legal Aid Society of Rochester, the Empire Justice Center, and Legal Assistance of Western New York. Our four agencies are located in the same building, and we work as a team to solve people's problems. As I mentioned, JustCause, our responsibility is to make people that cannot afford an attorney with an attorney that can work for free. The Legal Aid Society provides direct legal services, so they have a large staff of lawyers on hand to help resolve your issues. The same with Law New York. They have a large staff of attorneys to help out directly, as opposed to JustCause, where we get volunteers. And finally, the Empire Justice Center, they take a look at issues that are bigger in nature and that take a long time to resolve, such as civil rights and education, foreclosure, things that involve more than one person and maybe a long-term issue. They take a look at that. But the important thing that I would like to emphasize here is no matter what the issue is, you can come and apply to any of our organizations, and we will gladly find the right organization that will help you with your legal problem or otherwise. So please do not hesitate to contact us, and we will be glad to make sure that you get your information or be sent to the right place with assistance. Add the next slide, please. So now I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about exactly what our services are. In the box, blue box, you'll see a term called pro bono. What we mean by pro bono is a volunteer. That's a legal term that we use. And all lawyers, no matter what their job, they are by ethics and rules required to give volunteering a certain amount of hours per year. So the term pro bono means that we provide legal services at no cost, and typically to low-income clients, but it's for the interest of the public good. So again, people coming and a volunteer lawyer helping them. Some of the direct things we do is to provide legal advice. So it could be a very, very specific thing like, where do I get this form, or what do I do in this case? It could be legal representation, where we act as a lawyer on your behalf and address things, let's say in a court matter or in another type of civil matter. We also have brief services, drafting documents such as wills, power of attorneys, healthcare forms. And then we also do things like look at contracts before businesses enter them, and nonprofit or small businesses enter into them. So we provide support across a variety of realms. Also, we have presentations such as this, where you get to know what your rights are and what services are available. We also have telephone lines where people can call in to get information. And as I've mentioned a couple of times before, we have several community partnerships where we work with other agencies to make it easy for people to get help no matter what their matter is. We also take a look at the data of who we're serving and make sure that we advocate on behalf of the community. An example of that would be during COVID, there was a big problem with housing evictions. We went and we advocated to the state of New York, and they provided resources for us to help people that were being evicted, especially in a very, very difficult time like COVID. And again, one of our big goals is to expand access to the justice system, and that people know what their rights are and how to work through or navigate the justice system. I have the next slide, please. One of our main areas is family law. And when we say family law, it's made up of several issues, things such as divorces, domestic violence, orders of protection, custody of children or visitation, increasing monetary support from spouses or partners, and working with different family arrangements such as step-parents. So some of those issues, of course, are very difficult, and they're involved some very, very sensitive things in people's family, but we do provide that support and make sure that all the people that are within that particular situation are provided to help in the counsel in order to have a good outcome, and especially making sure that we are protecting children or those who are at risk of having domestic violence or some other unfortunate situation. I have the next slide, please. For health law, we provide a series of services that deal with things like a will that someone may want to have, a power of attorney, which is saying that you're giving your endorsement or your permission for someone to act on your behalf, healthcare proxies, and living wills, which are things where a person proactively says, if I'm in this situation, please do these types of things So their wishes are carried out if they happen to get sick or towards the end of life. What would you like to have happen with your property? What would you like to do if something happened to you and you want someone to take care of your children? Counseling for people that have issues like HIV or AIDS. But all those services are ready to support an individual. And we also go out and do what's called a clinic. So for instance, if Olivia invited us to go somewhere, we could bring a team of people and do direct service on site to help people out. This is, of course, a very important area where we help several people because of the importance of these issues. Might have the next slide, please. A few minutes ago, I mentioned that we provide a lot of support to people that are facing eviction or having housing matters if they are renting with their landlord or the property manager or the corporation that their housing situation is in. So when tenants are needing legal advice and or representation in court, we provide the means at no cost for those who are income qualified. Keeping people in housing, of course, is an extremely important issue, especially during COVID, especially during the winter, and especially when children are involved. We try to work very hard to provide representation and ensure people can stay in their homes and have an equitable chance to continue to stay in their homes, because the landlords are usually represented by a lawyer, and we want to make sure for fairness that other people have a lawyer on their side as well. I have the next slide, please. Immigration law, of course, is another area of great importance. We have several people coming to our country and helping them resolve their status in order to stay in the country or bring their family or work through several issues. Some of you may be familiar with some of the things that we're talking about, such as naturalization, becoming a permanent resident, petitioning for your family to come from foreign areas, issues involving children or juveniles, a variety of special things such as asylum, temporary protected status, family preparedness, and violence against women. We know that the immigration area is very, very complicated. We know that some of those issues can be extremely stressful or concerning for people. So again, we are putting additional resources in that area, especially when the rules or the circumstances change very quickly in immigration, but that's an area of focus. What we would like to do to work closely with Olivia is have our people from our immigration unit come back and do a presentation just on this area, because it has so many things to talk about. So hopefully we can arrange a presentation in the near future that focuses on the immigration law area or any other specific area that people may want to see. I have the next slide, please. Our micro entrepreneur and nonprofit pro bono business program helps us work with people who are starting a small business or nonprofit, and the things that an attorney can help them with. How are they going to structure their organization? What kind of contracts are they going to sign? And a variety of legal advice that will allow them to have an opportunity to work very, very closely and ensure that their rights and their organization gets off to a good start. So that is something we believe is very important and that we work closely on together. I have the next slide, please. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Consumer law is a area where we put several things together that go across a wide spectrum of activities. Things that deal with bankruptcy, debt collection, other monetary matters such as income tax, foreclosures out of business, properties, those types of things that are generally financial in nature. We also do things with dealing with people making name changes, or if they're working to have their child protective service records expunged after they have been through a process that allows them to do that. So we have several clinics and private attorneys to help work on the variety of these financial matters that tend to be sometimes very in-depth. So that is an area that, like the other areas, we can also do a clinic, and we can also provide in-depth representation or information. May I have the next slide, please? The Help Center was established several years ago, and the Help Center has two parts to it. One is actually in the Hall of Justice on the 5th floor, where people can just walk in on their own and take a look at what they need and ask questions about legal advice. There's a lot of forms. There are types of things that people may just be conducting legal things, and they can get advice right on the spot. We also have a free telephone line where people can call in, and we can give them legal information very quickly. If their situation warrants a more in-depth or more thorough type of examination, then we can work with them closely to get them signed up with an attorney. But this would be generally just getting legal information on a process or a form that someone may be filing, let's say, to do a permit or start their business. So we have that in place in the Hall of Justice and also available over the telephone. Next slide, please. And finally, as an example, our AAPI, Asian American and Pacific Islanders Outreach Initiative, shows that we also reach out to different communities of interest that may have legal issues that they want to address specifically. So this is an example of we can shape our services and our outreach to different groups of people that may have a specific set of needs or concerns, and we would be glad to go out in the community and hear their requirements and hopefully provide an answer. And if we don't have the answer ready, we will work with our partners to get one. So with that, that concludes the formal part of the presentation, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that anyone may have for us. So at the last slide, if you could go there, please. You can go to the next one, please. I'd just like to say that JustCause is here, and in our name, JustCause, we are dedicated and committed to providing legal services and equitable representation for people across Monroe County, while working with our partners in a variety of issues in a wide area of Western New York to ensure that people feel supported and are supported and have a fair and equitable legal outcome. With that, I would welcome any questions that you may have. And thank you, Olivia, for doing the slides.
Are there any questions for Dr. Muhammad?
I will provide the phone number in the chat. I will also send that information to Olivia to be able to call in. Let me actually, I will put that in there right now.
There's another question in the chat about asking if services are based on income level, and if so, what is the income requirement?
Answer that as soon as I get my computer to behave here. Yes, our services are typically based on income level. For our services, the baseline is 200% in the income limit of the federal poverty guideline. However, I must really emphasize, if you need a service, please apply to us, because there are so many specific types of things that we have to look at in each case. That is just a general baseline. So if you believe that you need services, please come and apply to us, call us, or go to our website. And then we will work with you to see what your specific circumstances in terms of being income qualified. No, the service is not for immigrants only. It's for people that have immigration issues, is I believe the question. And let me actually put our website in line. So someone had asked a question. One of my students is technically an American citizen, but he spends life growing up in his home country as a service for immigrants only. No, that may be an immigration related issue or a status related issue. So again, that is not specifically just for immigrants, it's for immigration overall.
Any other questions before we wrap up for the morning?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for saying thank you, Gina's class, and thank you, Doc. Oh, one more question from Rebecca. Do we need to call and make an appointment?
Yes, when you call, our reception staff take your information. They will see what your issue is, and then they will talk to you about what needs to happen next. Sometimes they do things over the phone. Other times it may require coming in. If you just come into the building, there's a common reception. You can come in and talk to them, and then they will arrange things. It's better to call first or to apply online to make sure that we have the right people with the right understanding of your issue, as opposed to just coming straight in. I would highly recommend that. Yes, we do have translation services. We work in a variety of languages. We have on staff people that speak a variety of languages, whether it's Spanish, Urdu, Arabic, a variety of other things. And for those languages that we don't personally speak, we do have translators and translation services.
All right, if there are no other questions, I will make sure to distribute the phone number to all the classes so you all have that resource. Thank you again, Dr. Muhammad, for coming. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you all. And at any point, if there are any questions, please feel free to call the number, or you can contact me personally, and Olivia has that information in my email. Please feel free to put that in the chat as well, or distribute that. And we look forward to helping anyone that may require our assistance.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming, everyone. Have a great morning. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.